Hey everybody, it's Cameron Kasky with FY Pod. Today we're going to talk about why MAGA can't seem to get a date. And I'm joined by my friend Jack Cocchiarella to laugh at them and sort of pick it apart. How you doing, brother?
I am better now that we are talking about how the truth behind the male loneliness epidemic has a lot more to do with politics than it maybe does other stuff. Sure, we're going to get into the socioeconomic of it all, but these guys suck. And I think that's important to point out.
Yeah, it's like people always talk to me about how Gen Z men are struggling so much and how Gen Z women are too. But with men specifically, whenever they ask me what I think is going on, I'm like, have you seen the way that we're acting? Like, have you met one of us? I want to take a look at a clip that you sent me of a dating show that really captures what's going on. But not only the dating show, also the way that a seemingly Gen Z man reacted to it. Let's take a look.
Can I ask you who you voted for?
That's a tough question.
Oh, oof. I'm scared.
Is that going to be the out for me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Where do these people get off being so smug and dismissive when Trump literally won the
By the way, when he said, where do these people get off by being so smug and dismissive? I at first thought he was talking about the dude.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, this guy with the bad haircut's right. Let's watch a little more.
the popular vote? Like, you realize more people voted for Trump than your candidate, right? Also, if you want a real man who is an actual provider and protector to you, I'm going to just tell you right now, the likelihood that that dude is the type to ask you your pronouns before talking to you.
So first of all, he gets into this whole protector and provider thing. What can you protect and provide if you can't answer a simple question? MAGA wants to get all like high and mighty about how the left is trying to, impose upon them and this and that. We're in the struggle. You can't claim that we are people who are being suppressed while also saying we won the popular vote, but we are also so big and so strong and so tough. But the guy, that wasn't editing. The guy didn't say who he voted for. He was even ashamed to admit it. So you have all of these things lumped into one. He's pretending that he's the victim when he's not, and he won't even stand up for what he believes because he knows it's wrong.
And also, I'm sorry, this guy with the bad shirt and the no haircut, like I hate to play into his narrative, but I find it hard to believe that he is very much of a provider. I find it hard to believe that this guy is the alpha male he's talking about.
You're doing TikTok.
But this brings to mind.
You're not doing something manly like YouTube, right, Cam?
So many Republicans like to talk about how they're not political. Mm-hmm. They like to say, yes. I don't really like to get into politics, especially the dudes. There are Republican guys who will bring up a political thing to me and say, oh, Cameron, I want your liberal opinion on this. And I go, okay, what's up? And they espouse some sort of conservative worldview. And then as soon as I push back, and I don't get argumentative and aggressive because I don't care what they think. Mm-hmm. So I just, gently tell them my take on the matter. As soon as I push back, they're like, oh, I don't like to get into the politics of it all. And I'm like, okay, well, you're the one who brought it up.
An ounce of confrontation and they instantly fold. And of course, there's more of this video that we have to check out. But I do have to say that this is a phenomenon in the young men dating app space where they'll put like moderate or apolitical on their page.
If someone puts moderate or apolitical,
we know what that means.
You're conservative and you're afraid to say it.
It's always like, well, I'm a moderate. I don't really like Trump that much. And then you criticize him. It's like, well, what I think about Mr. Trump is that he's always right about everything. But let's take a look at the rest of this nonsense.
The likelihood of that is extremely low. The left is almost entirely driven by emotions nowadays, and a man driven by emotions is probably not the one you would want sleeping beside you if you heard someone breaking into your house.
What is more emotional than hopping on TikTok to respond to a 30-second clip of two people you don't know and will never meet because you're mad a guy couldn't admit that he voted for Donald Trump and isn't going to get the girl? Is that not the most emotional thing?
It's just this weird thing where like they think that if they hide from their feelings, that makes them tougher. Mm-hmm. And if they compartmentalize their childhood trauma and never talk about the things that dad said to them that really fucked with their confidence, that means they'll be able to John Wick their way through anybody who breaks into the house. But it's just so strange. It's like you want to fall asleep next to somebody who doesn't have feelings. That's what this emotional little crybaby's going on about.
I want to get into your little John Wick point there. Like the MAGA fantasy is always around like guns and the oppressive government, right? It's like, ooh, the government's going to beat down my door, but I got my AK, so I'm going to be fine. I'm going to fight back. This guy who obviously has that fantasy because he's a Trump supporter, and then this dude in the TikTok is talking about it, not only won't carry that out at any point in his life because it's a moronic fantasy to think is happening. Also, the only authoritarian government action we've seen in the United States in a long time has been that of Donald Trump. He won't even take the power stance, the bro stance of saying who he voted for. That's the greatest crime to me in this video, is that the guy won't actually say that he voted for Trump. He just kind of slinks out. So, okay, I guess we're done here.
It's just intellectual cowardice. It's like, if you're going to die on this hill, at least do it with a sword in your hand. Let's watch the end.
Arrogance. By all means, keep dismissing people who won the popular vote. I'm sure that will work out well for you guys.
I mean, I don't like to say soy boy, and I'm like, I'm kind of a fairy princess myself. I probably do slightly more girly things than boyish things. But this guy is the characterization of the soft boy lib that conservatives exist online to make fun of. And I don't want to get into people's appearances, but you know what? With this guy, sometimes when you fuck around, you find out. And if he is going to continue the cycle of misogyny by putting misogyny and disgusting rhetoric out into the world, if he can dish it, he can take it. And I'm just going to say to him, if I saw him, I would think that he was a fucking Jill Stein voter. But you sending me this video put me down a little bit of a rabbit hole with this guy. And it turns out he's got some more interesting takes that are also very, very emotional. Let's take a look.
So this girl got 2 million likes after telling the world that she got her nails done for the 4th of July in blue, not red, for a reason. Can you guys just for once appreciate this country without an asterisk? Like, the fact that you were able to even go get your nails done for a specific holiday, while roughly 6 out of 10 people in this world live on less than $10 a day.
So let's cut Snap. Let's
make America worse.
Let's gut our services for the poor. And also, I see the words continent of Africa in this screenshot of his, and it's like, we got rid of USAID, and there's no way to measure the amount of people who are going to die because the angel of death, Marco Rubio, went ahead and did that. And this guy, the day that the big beautiful bill gets signed, is straight up talking about how people are starving and poor.
But it's also just such a moronic argument to say that like protests and like however, loud or quiet they may be, or a recognition that we do live in a flawed country, very flawed right now, on the 4th of July isn't celebrating it, but like going out and crushing beers and being apathetic towards the situation around you in which people are hurting is celebrating the 4th of July. Like, we're all taking the day off. Like, I worked because I work every day, but like, did you go to work? Can't, like, we had the day off. It was Friday and people saw their friends. Like, you didn't see your friends in a more patriotic way. Like, what did you do for the country by not reflecting on it? Like, what did you do? Did you support the troops? You didn't.
She did her nails blue, which is one of the 3 colors. Like, unless what he's saying is that he wanted her to do them in red, white, and blue.
And like wave a flag all day.
To be fully patriotic. I'm like, what? She did a more patriotic thing than she needed to. Like, blue is one of the colors.
It's not like she said, I think that the holiday of Thanksgiving is not one that we can celebrate considering, the tragic history of Native people in this country. Therefore, I will not be volunteering at a food bank on Thanksgiving. Like, if that is the picture that MAGA is painting. But again, what do you not do for America by recognizing our flaws on the 4th of July? Like, Republicans aren't going out and feeding troops. Like,
speaking of recognizing our flaws, another thing this gentleman did was criticize the big beautiful bill, and I was like, Republicans coming out about this, we ought to hear what they have to say. But let's take a look at how he did it.
This big beautiful bill is disappointing to me as a Republican for one major reason.
Probably that millions of people are getting robbed of healthcare.
That would make sense.
Or something like that.
And before you guys say, well, that's what you voted for, I don't regret my vote. You can still think that your
He doesn't
party...
have the arms for that shirt.
is the better option while also criticizing your party. That said, my main problem with this bill is that it doesn't go far enough to tackle our most existential threats as a country.
Climate change,
income inequality,
stuff like that, probably.
Inflation, like our debt spiral, like our fertility crisis.
Bro, you're wondering why people don't want to date you. It's like you're out here talking about the fertility
I must
crisis.
also point out, and I'm gonna preface this with the George Costanza, Jerry Seinfeld. He is gay. This is a gay Republican, by the way. Just to have that little sprinkle on top.
He's out?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes me feel slightly worse for calling him a soy boy, but you know what? Not even.
Really
Not
cares
even,
about the fertility.
If you are perpetuating the stereotypes of what a man ought to be, then be that man. Don't do it from the outside, dude. But while we're talking about people who perpetuate misogyny, it behooves me to point out that us men would not be so successful in forcing misogyny upon this world without our allies, women.
Why are you lumping us into that, Cam?
We're men. We have a responsibility.
What do we do? We have a podcast.
I'm also part of white privilege. I talk about it.
This is true.
Try to call it out, but that doesn't mean I'm not part of it. And us as men are part of the world of misogyny, and all we can do is our best. But you know who does the opposite of their best? Probably pretty conscious that that's what it is misogyny's good friend, Candace Owens. Let's see what she has to say about gender equality.
In fact, you are evidence against your own claim.
I'm not evidence against my own claim.
You are.
I'm saying
you're at work right now.
I've literally said, I am telling you, women cannot have it all. That is an illusion, and that is an illusion that is stressing women out. And I think it is the reason why so many women are turning to popping pills, why there's been such a significent, more than 1,000% increase.
But men can have it all. Men can be fathers and have a job, but women can't do that.
Time out. Women have turned to popping pills? What is this? I'm sorry,
it's
that
just
was
interesting.
Just so out of left field. What?
Candace is talking about how women shouldn't work. Women should be trad wives in the kitchen.
Oh my God.
And she says women can't have it all. And I'm just like, your idea of having it all is having a job? Like that's the ideal for you? I don't know. It's weird, but let's keep going.
It's funny. Like, before we get into the rest of this, what this creator is responding to Candace Owens will ultimately say is just like, well, you're a podcaster. Like, you do you have a job. You've created a business. Candace Owens, I don't like her or anything that she says, but is quite the successful businesswoman. Isn't that the antithesis of like all that she believes? And again, if you want to make sure that women have the ability to stay home and be the homemakers that you say is the most important responsibility of theirs, just support, I don't know, universal child care. Don't boot them off their SNAP benefits. This is insanity. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think you can have it all.
It sounds like you're devaluing women. I think that women can do everything that a man can do, and men have done this historically throughout time and memoriam.
I think women is our debate topic today. So
women exist in a society with men. We are.
You can't talk about women and mention men.
And that is why women are unhappy today. Is because actually, what's quite ironic about the feminist movement is that
I think women are just trying to be people.
I think women have been taught that being a woman is not enough and that you have to also aspire to be a man. And that's the irony. It's like a psychological conditioning.
Having a job means
feminists
you're
went
not
out
a
and
woman.
did and said is that in order for women to have value, women need to be like men. And I'm saying that actually women and men are biologically different. There are differences in our behavior. There are differences in our desires. And I think evidence of the feminist movement, by the way, shows us that, because even when women enter into the college education space, the pathways of career that we choose are different from men because we're biologically different, right?
Okay, so let's say that this is true, that women truly are more fulfilled at home.
Okay, I have to say a couple things, all not connected. You really know that these like MAGA conservative culture people are scrambling when they replace just like very simple words with much more convoluted, saying when women enter the college education institution space. Like, why can't you just say when women go to college? They just have to like make it like this whole like dark thing.
You saw this with the
women just want to be people is hysterical to me. Like, yes.
You saw this with the Jordan Peterson video that was like one Christian debates 20 atheists, and then Jordan Peterson straight up says in the video, I don't identify necessarily as a Christian, but also I do, but also I don't.
That's a good Jordan Peterson.
It's just Kermit.
It's a little Kermity.
Jordan Peterson, Kermit, and Eddie Redmayne as Marius in the Les Miserables movie are all the same voice. But
can I get a hi-ho Kermit the Frog here?
No, because now you've set an expectation, and if I don't meet that expectation, I'm going to look worse.
Then you're not
a man. I can say, however, that if you are courting a woman and you want to make her sexually attracted to you, then you need to be like a lobster. I read 12 Rules for Life.
Are we doing Colin Farrell movies now? This show has gone completely off the rails.
Well, we're talking about shit that's off the rails. If you're talking about stuff that's off the rails, you're going to go off the rails.
Cam, how are the women in your life? Are they horribly miserable and popping pills? Where did popping pills come from? I didn't think women were popping pills.
No.
Is this like birth control? Like,
as a matter
they're
of fact,
anti-birth control, but like what?
This is also weird. Candace is trying to reinforce this idea that women are just not capable of doing this stuff. That's what it's all about. It's not like
as a woman doing stuff
like feminism has gone too far and women are being forced to do things that they're not comfortable with. That's not what this is about. The Republicans do this when they're attacking trans people. They always pretend to be some sort of champion for women, but the message always boils down to, if you strip everything away, it's always women are not good at stuff. That's what they want you to think. Candace wants women to get this takeaway from her that, I mean, Candace is good enough at commentary and at observing society that everybody ought to listen to her when she's telling Kanye West to say that slavery was a choice. But otherwise, women aren't good at stuff. Women should just stay at home. And if you believe that, Candace thinks that you are a proper woman. Whereas if you believe that you ought to pursue an education and go apply that to the workforce as you see fit, you are not. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you're watching this, be honest about who you voted for. Vote for Democrats, and don't
say it proudly.
Don't wriggle out of shit. Don't be a worm. Don't think that that being an ideological coward makes you above politics. It doesn't. It makes you fucking below it.
There you go.
With the Bulwark, we're Jack Cocchiarella and Cameron Kasky. Thanks so much.